Welcome to Almost Here, Round the Corner Future Technology podcast with Richard Jacobs. Future technologies poised to transform our lives for better or worse are the focus of this podcast. Almost here means these technologies are now here and starting to be used, or just around the corner, from Bitcoin to artificial intelligence, 3D printing, blockchain, virtual reality, and more.
Hello, this is Richard Jacobs with the Future Tech Podcast. My guest today is Isaac Dallas. He's the CMO and co-founder of a company called XSPACE. And the website is XSPACE app, the letter X, the word space, and then app.com. We're going to be talking about visualization using VR and AR and also AI. So Isaac, how are you doing today?
I'm doing well. How are you doing?
Yeah, doing good. Thanks for coming. So tell me about XSPACE. What's the premise of the company? What's XSPACE about?
Yeah, so XSPACE, we're working on improving product content generation for e-commerce with XSPACE. So that's, when I say product generation, that's everything from, the 2D photo you see all the way up to an AR, VR experience you may have, though those are limited right now to where the industry is headed. And we're more of a holistic view. So even if you have one product or a million products, we're there to help you kind of get a handle on it.
Yeah, that's really cool because part of the trade-off now is, if I go to a store and I want to look at, shoes or something online, I just see a 2D image. Maybe I see a video, but it'd be nice to fly through it in VR or AR and check out the shoes from different angles and see how they look, and maybe even put them on an avatar of me and see someone walking in them, that kind of stuff.
Yeah, no, it's cool how the industry is developing. But one of the things that we were grappling with when we first started working on this, and take a step back, the way we kind of stumbled into the industry was we got done with a research project we were doing with Harvard, and me and my co-founder Chris, before Jacob joined us, we started looking into the industry, retail, and the idea was, hey, we want to be able to place a couch. Like, let's say you wanted to go furniture shopping and you want to shop in your home, you want to be able to pull those objects and put them into your living room. Be like, wow, I really like how that love seat looks, or maybe I want to change the color of paint on the wall. But what we found was that wasn't the issue. The issue was getting all of those 3D models, and even further, we found that 2D photos, 360s, and video are still incredibly expensive because it's an art, not a science, the way it's described in the industry. So we took it upon ourselves to say, you know what, we think we can automate this. So over the last about year, we built a robot, a web app to be able to capture products and then put them online. But and the way it works is you first get whatever product you're wanting to put online. We scan it. So the robot looks at it, says, okay, these are the dimensions I want to capture. It pulls those in. We post-process it, remove the background. And from that, we're able to create those 2D photos you see to 360s and video. And right now, we're getting fairly close to releasing something around AR and VR. But the industry isn't quite there for the demand. Most people are still very interested in being like, hey, I have 1 million products. How do I get videos rolled out for each one? Or how do I get a 360 for each one?
So what are some of the first products that are in most need of a system like this to showcase them in different ways? Is it furniture? Is it wearables, clothing? I mean, what do you think is the number one product line that needs this?
So right now where we're at, just developmentally, is we work really well with just, you have a lot of products and you need to get them shot, mostly because our web app isn't up yet. We've been seeing a lot of interest from kind of hard goods. So you want to take a picture of 1,000 different parts of a pump. Up until now, it's not really cost effective for you to do that. One thing we've seen with this automation is a drastic cutback in cost. It's, what we charge our customers is, 60% what they would spend elsewhere. So, under that same thought, you'd be like, okay, I can get a 360 and 2D photos for generally a little less than what you would spend on just 2D photos for a site. Because right now you're looking at $60 per photo, and you can look up to $300 to $200 for a 360. We pull those prices down drastically.
Well, that's a big benefit right off the bat. Why are you able to do it so much cheaper so far?
It's been automation. So we've been able to get our robotics to pretty much do the job of what a full-time individual would have to do to position the product, turn it, photograph it, and edit it. That whole system, we've trimmed it down to the essentials and then applied automation to it to get it to where, now you can have one person running a robot, and that robot can process, thousands of products a month much quicker than what you would be able to do in a traditional photo studio.
So one of the reasons
kind of a
it's not more widely adopted is that it's just the cost is like one of the first barriers, right?
Right. I mean, if you're looking at going to e-commerce, there's a lot of pulls on people's budgets today, and anything at scale or anything new, it makes it hard to be like, okay, yeah, we can afford that. The industry is wanting to switch to that. A lot of people are asking for 360s as they become more and more relevant in our shopping. Amazon a couple months ago released 360s to a couple of their larger clients to allow them to do it on their site. And as you see that trend to go up, you're also seeing that with video showing a larger conversion rate, and the same for those AR, VR images. But you can't get around the price. It doesn't scale well when you have to spend $200 for a 360, or $500 for a video.
Right.
It doesn't make sense because it's not just the price too.
Of an object, are you able to convert it to a VR AR symbol, or do you have to shoot it again to do that?
No, it's all done in the same shot process. So there's a couple different ways you could. Yeah, there's a couple different ways you could go with it. If you don't have a CAD file, we can generate that 3D model just based off of the point data gathered from the camera, or you can pull a CAD file and then do a photo wrapping over it. Both of them work, and you get generally a similar results. But if you're able to do it from the ground up with just without a CAD file, you usually see better results with how that 3D model is going to look.
So, what's a fully fleshed out product have? Pictures, video, VR, AR, anything else? Like, what do you envision as the full suite
For XSPACE, or for people that for customers shopping online?
Yeah, if you did everything to showcase a product, what would it be? What would it include?
Well, you want the shopping experience to fit what that customer wants. There are going to be those who, all they want are the 2D photos. That's what they're used to. But, you're going to have consumers that want to get a better feel for it. So getting that 360 allows the consumer to have control over the walk around, to be able to see that video, or integrated 3D model where you can see the top and the bottom. But I think ultimately 360s and photos will probably go to the wayside. And what you'll see is whenever you load up a product, it'd be the 3D model. And when you're looking at it, that's what you're spinning around and whatnot. And then if you want to see it in a VR, AR model, it'll be as simple as if you're wearing a headset, being able to throw it into your environment, or if you're using your phone, being able to press a button and drop it onto the table you're looking at, or into your living room. I think 2D photos and 360s are going to probably go away over the next decade, whereas you see video will probably stick around because it's a nice format to display a product.
Can you give me an indication I don't know if you have the data, but if I have 2D images and I have a description of my product, I'll sell certain amounts. I know it depends on the product, but if I add a 360 view, how much have you seen that helps to increase my response rate?
Yeah, there's actually a lot of really cool data out there about this right now. What we've seen is usually whenever someone rolls something out site-wide, they see a 5% increase in total sales. And then also you usually see a reduction in cart abandonment around 35% as well. And then returns are also reduced. I think that's closer to 40%. Again, I don't have the numbers directly in front of me, but those are what are reported almost industry-wide, from eBay to others who do 360s.
And then what else could be added to further increase lift, even if it's not available just yet? VR, AR, is there a simple level? Is there a more complicated level? Like you talked about a coffee table. I guess the first level to me would be I can go around it in virtual reality and look at it and the underside and all that. And the next level, it seems like, is, like you said, I could place objects on it and put a tablecloth over part of it and put chairs around it and really see it in context. Those are the two levels that you see next. And how much of a lift, do you have any data on how much of a lift that's given things in terms of sales?
Currently, there isn't data out there to really soundly say something. I mean, going with the trends, if you look at, 360 and then you step up to a video, you see a higher conversion. I don't have the number on that right now, but when you step to VR, AR, it's only natural to believe, okay, you're giving a consumer an even better experience. I mean, you can look to, actually I misspoke, you can look to the furniture industry. There's small companies out there right now that are testing out being able to, furnish your entire room or home and plan it out in VR or AR. And what those companies are seeing is that people will buy an entire room set. That's why, Walmart, they rolled out this, it was for college students, but they could go in and they can buy an entire dorm set online. They could go in and they could look at their dorm set, and then but a lot of what's been shown from those is if people can go in and design their own room, they'll buy the entire room at that site. The amount of lift compared to what a normal site buyer would do, there's a huge difference, because usually people will pick from place to place. But kind of that first level, because you had kind of two questions there. One was like, what's the lift you see? For those who have been able to execute right, the lift is huge. But kind of that first level, that entry point, is just being able to get a 3D model to show in browser. So, you load up, let's say you loaded up, X brand site, and the consumer's looking at it, just being able to spin that product, look at the top and the bottom in browser. I'd say level 2 is getting that to where, okay, I want to be able to view that in VR, put my headset on. Level 3 is being able to say, okay, hey, I've got a room full of a bunch of stuff. I want to be able to place a couch where my current couch is. So being able to virtually remove your old couch and place a new couch where the other one would have been, and getting it sized correctly. And kind of that last one is being like, okay, I want to decorate an entire room, and I want to be able to put VR objects on top of VR objects, and have a clock over in the corner and a painting over there.
Yeah, so this is super important because, if I sell stuff, I'm always looking for an advantage. So if I do the 360 video or walkthrough, I get a lift of 5%, maybe even more. That's a lot. And then if I add in this VR, AR experience, either the first or second level, if I get it up to 10% lift, maybe even 20% lift, I mean, that's some serious return for this. I see it's like a really powerful thing you guys are doing.
Right. And those who act sooner rather than later are going to get the best result, right? Because once it becomes an industry norm, you're not doing it because you want to increase sales. You're doing it because you want to keep up with the industry. But if you're able to make that change before everyone else, you're going to get that 5%. You're going to get that, that 10% lift, because you're providing a unique customer experience. And that means, your customers, like if you were experiencing something online and you stumbled into one of your favorite brands, and now you can experience that brand in a completely different way and buy it, what wouldn't stop you from tapping your friend's shoulder and going, wow, look at this? The word of mouth part is, that's huge too and can't be overlooked. You lose that when things go mainstream because everyone expects it. It's not a novelty anymore. Yeah.
Well, I know what holds me back from buying a lot of stuff is, right, I can't put it on, or I can't, I have questions about it. Like I'll look at, a humidifier, for instance. I bought one recently. And, does it have bright lights on at night that you can't shut off? Or is it produce a visible mist? If it doesn't produce a visible one, I kind of don't believe it's working. I got to put my hand over it. So I see a lot of products, at least I have tons of questions about them. And if I had more info, 3D walk around, that kind of stuff, VR, AR, it would help settle my questions and clear the path for me to buy it. And I'd have less resistance,
Right. Well, I mean, it goes back to the old adage of being like a picture's worth 1,000 words. Well, what's whenever you improve a picture and you make a 360, what is that worth? How much text are you communicating through just being able to simply spin a product around or watch a video or be able to experience in front of you, like being able to place that humidifier in front of you and see what it does, have the, the mist coming out of it and be able to see the blinking lights and whatnot.
Right.
It matters because, we're human, and, nowhere in our past were we trying to buy stuff through a virtual means. This has all been, you walked into a store and then you saw, like Bed Bath & Beyond, and they had the little display where you could, use a sweeper to pick up rocks. You can't do that online. You lose that. You have to have a lot of trust in that this supplier is trustworthy. But bringing that experience,
and that's why, I think that's why I think infomercials are so powerful. You know, you may think when you first see it, why are they spending 30 minutes just in this one object? But that way you can really flesh it out to the fullest. You can see people using it. You can see all kinds of stuff, testimonials, I mean, everything. So I can see this being used actually now that I think of it, not just for the product, but, you know, video testimonials if you have, or videos of people actually using it, which Amazon's starting to have. I mean, so you really could make a product a million times better and more accessible to people, and, you know, reduce the amount of questions and fear they have and hesitation in buying it.
Right. It's that communication, because not everyone's going to use the product for, you know, what the maker thinks it's going to be used for. The consumer is going to be like, wow, that would really help me with this, or I think it would be a great gift for so-and-so. And that may not spawn when, you know, from that first photo they see, but the more they dig into it, or the better experience they have from the get-go, you know, like, I know it works on me. So
yeah, me too. I mean, like I said, I'm just telling you what I feel when I look at products and stuff, and I'm sure most people, you know, they may not feel the exact same, but they're feeling something. Something's either compelling them to buy something or holding them back from doing it, making them hesitant. So you lower the threshold, more people will buy.
Right. It gets down to customer experience. You know, you as a customer have a lot of choices, and you're going to go to where, you know, the barrier to get what you want is the lowest. You may like a brand, but if it's not doing it for you, you'll switch.
Well, very good. Okay. Yeah, and I guess once it gets to the point where you can do all these things online, that'll really tip the balance and make online shopping a lot better than it is right now.
Yeah, I think it's going to keep them. I don't think brick and mortar is going away. I think it's going to stick around. I think it's still got some. It's not going to be nearly as strong as it was, you know, 20 years ago. It's going to lose a little bit more ground, but shopping models in the future, I feel like it's going to be a mixture of both a brick and mortar and an online store. And for brands, that means they need to be able to display their product both in a store and online.
All right. So XSPACE, what aspect of all this does it tackle well? What does it do, XSPACE? And, what does it do for people, and what kind of products can they use it for?
Right. So where we're at right now is we work really good with soft and hard good products. We stay away from fashion and refrigerated products. But other than that, we've been able to build it out to where it handles most other goods. Before our rollout of our web app, we're seeing a strong matchup with, you know, enterprise clients who have a lot of products that they need to scan. But I mean, we're also listed on Amazon in all 50 states. So you could, if you only got one product, you can go on there and you can order through Amazon to get a 360 shot by us. The goal for XSPACE ultimately is that, you know, you've got a store online, and no matter your size, you should be able to have access to the same capabilities as, you know, a Menards or a larger store would have. It shouldn't just be reserved for, you know, the elite. Mom and pop shops or boutique firms should also have the ability to have the same brand representation as all the others. So that's what the web app's there for, is to help them have an easier time getting the products and getting them online.
Any examples online that people can see of a product that you've done all this for?
Yeah, we've got one on our homepage. It's of a rigid little radio that we shot. It would have been 5 months ago. And then as for stores that we're working with, we're working with Charlotte Pipe. So they haven't put them on yet, but we're shooting their products for them. So you can go on Amazon and you'll be able to see our work. Right now, it's a mixture of a bunch of stuff they did in-house. So I'm not going to lay claim to it yet, just because I don't want someone going in there and going, "Oh, hey, that doesn't look too good." And they're like, "Well, it probably wasn't us," but but we're pretty young. So we've been around. We've only been doing operations since July, and actually, whenever we started doing sales in July, we had to hold off on doing more after about 2 weeks because we filled up our capacity at the location we were at. We're now getting ready to move to a larger facility, and we've got a larger staff to be able to handle more product. So we're getting ready to hit the ground running again with a couple partnerships and whatnot, so we can handle more business.
When you do the VR, AR rendering, what can you use commercial off-the-shelf headsets to view it, like Oculus Rift, or what do you have to do?
So to be able to, view a product, you should be able to use whatever's supported by the browser. So we work with different viewing companies to be able to deliver a VR, AR experience. And we're letting them worry about, okay, how do we work with all these different, hardware? We're focusing on, okay, we need something for them to show. It's kind of a group effort to get this technology pulled together and distributed. Really, wherever you look right now in the industry, there's not very many companies that do it alone.
Okay, but again, for the VR, AR experience, what headsets can view it? Do you have an app specifically for those headsets?
No, we're kind of the back end. We do B2B sales. We don't have a app for consumers at the moment. We'll probably have something test-wise for like our web app when we roll it out in 2019, and then that will be on Chrome. So anything that supports Android or Windows based AR, VR viewing. So that means like your HP headsets, Oculus, any of those would be able to see those products.
Okay, got it. So the rollout is, 360 is already available and it's at a discounted price, which is great. Next step is VR, AR, and then I guess even more sophisticated from there is placing an object in VR, AR in its environment so you can see how it interacts, like a couch or a table, that kind of thing. Right.
Because, the industry broadly, like we're focused on the generation of those products, but placing an object, like let's say you had a table and you wanted to put a coffee maker on top of it and a mug and some, a place setting. The physics and behind running something like that, we're not diving into. We're working with others to make it to where you can see those products like that. So you could load up Lowe's or something and throw down a table and then put your coffee maker on top of it and then put your picture in the background along with the different chairs you want and then recolor the walls. The operating system that will run that, probably based off of iOS or Android, the kits that they have out, that's more determined on the retailer or the partner we're working with and who they're wanting to go with. But we'll make the coffee pot.
Okay, very good. Yeah. What's the best way for people to get in touch and find out more about the app and track your progress and, use it and maybe even order off of Amazon a 360 view of their product?
Yeah, the easy way to contact us is to go to our contact page and just email, or they can reach out to me directly if they're wanting to ask any questions about what we're doing. But I don't know if they would have my email.
Yeah, if you're open to giving it, it's up to you. If not, they could just use the contact form.
Yeah, I think the contact form would probably be the best way.
All right, that's great. Well, any other developments coming that you want to talk about, or you think we've covered it pretty adequately?
Yeah, I'd say we've covered it pretty adequately. Our core competency and what we're doing. 2019 will be a fun year for us, but see where it all goes.
Well, very good. Well, yeah, I appreciate you coming on the podcast. Thanks, Isaac.
Yeah, no problem.
You have been listening to Almost Here, Around the Corner Future Technology podcast with Richard Jacobs. Subscribe to this podcast, post a review to discover more future technologies that are poised to transform our lives for better or worse, such as Bitcoin, artificial intelligence, 3D printing, blockchain, virtual reality, and more.